events to have. It's always a special evening, and we get to celebrate something positive going on in our community and celebrate the contributions that an individual has made for so many years here and to make this county such a nice place. So as we get started, we're about to start the line for dinner. The food line will be right down the hallway out there. Also, there are restrooms. If you're looking for restrooms, feel free to go back that way. And of course, we have drinks and things in the back corner. But to get things kicked off, I wanted to welcome our presenting sponsor for the evening. This event and most of the events that we do would not be possible without our top investors that we have in our chamber. We're very fortunate to have a very generous business community in Oldham County, and a big important part of that is the Kroger Corporation. So please help me welcome Kim Faulkner from Kroger.
Good evening. I want to thank everyone for coming tonight to the Oldham County Chamber event. And you just don't know, from our heart, Kroger is so proud to be part of the Oldham County LaGrange area, and we hope to bring many stores. And we love serving our customers and hospitality and the holidays. So enjoy your time with Kroger, and we hope that we give you fresh and friendly service. So we would thank you again for being a part of us.
I have a lot of sponsors to thank. We couldn't do this without them. I would like to thank our welcome sponsor, Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Kentuckiana. Our cocktails are sponsored by All Aboard Liquors in LaGrange. It's here for All Aboard and the cocktails. Our dinner and presentation are sponsored by Encompass, Develop, Design, Construct. Let's hear about it. And then dessert and champagne toast sponsored by L&M Federal Credit Union. And then every year, our video presentation is sponsored by Robin Lawson at Financial Solutions. He's done this for many years. So thank you, Robin. Also, let's hear it for Nick Curcio over here at All Star Entertainment, rocking the tunes for us tonight. We have a wonderful dinner planned by Ladyfingers Catering, and also you'll notice we have bourbon glasses as a gift that you can take home tonight. Those were donated by the Kentucky Artisans Distillery right next door to us. And I don't know if you've read in the paper or not, but Udell Gardens had an anonymous gift of $4 million that they had just received to do some amazing growth here at Udell. So let's hear it for Udell and this beautiful facility. So we're going to start the dinner line and let you guys kind of get through dinner before we start our presentation. And to do that, I have a special guest here, Steve Haddon. Where are you, Steve? You around? Steve Haddon from Campbellsville University and a former pastor at Crestwood Baptist Church is going to do our prayer for us. So would everybody please bow your heads?
Shall we pray? Oh God, we give you praise and we give you gratitude for the wonder of your world, for the beauty of the season, for friendship, food, and fellowship, for communities that seek to improve the living of all people. Bless the friends in this room. Continue to bless Oldham County. Help us to love you with our heart, soul, and mind, and help us to love our neighbor as you taught us to love ourselves. Thank you for all your blessings. I pray in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. All right, thank you, Steve. All right, feel free to go start the lines for dinner, and we'll see you back here in about 30 minutes to have our event. All right. Welcome again, everyone. I want to thank you for being here again tonight, and I won't go on and on. We have a lot to get to. It's a very important night. But before we get going, I just wanted to thank everybody again for being here. And also, I just want to acknowledge the importance of what this event is. It is every year, as we give this out, this is our 53rd Oldham County of the Year award. And every year that we give this out, every time, it's an amazing person who's done astronomical amount of things, been generous with their time and their talents, and really have modeled good leadership behavior for the rest of the county. And we're very fortunate in Oldham County to have tremendous leaders from all walks of life and all parts of our business community and our elected officials. And I want to thank everybody for contributing to that. And many of you here, we have Oldham Countians of the Year, former Oldham Countians of the Year here, and I just want to thank you for what you've contributed to our community. So what I want to do to start off is I want to bring up a former Oldham County of the Year, Dr. Blake Hazelton, to get us started.
Thank you, David. Tonight, we are here to celebrate with the recipient of this year's Oldham Countian of the Year. My role really is, more than anything else, is to define what the Oldham Countian of the Year represents. And this is an individual or individuals who have made significant contributions to the growth, improvement, and overall preservation of Oldham County. These contributions must be made through community service and volunteerism. And David mentioned leadership, and one of the legacies of leaders is that they have a positive impact on others who don't even know them and never will. And such is the individual we recognize tonight. This individual is a native of Oldham County, a graduate of Oldham County High School, a real estate magnate, a storyteller. This is an individual who can laugh at himself, which is a rare, I think, function that we have sometimes. They like to celebrate just about anything. It's a family man, and that is the most important role that the individual has. This is a person who represents 40 years of public service to LaGrange and Oldham County. And it is a pleasure to announce John Black as the winner.
My earliest recollection of John Black was sometime in the fall of 1973. He had just turned 21. John's oldest sister, Mary Lee, was a registered nurse at the Red Cross. I met her one Sunday morning at the Kentucky Air National Guard when about 20 guys lined up to give blood in the hangar. A few weeks later, we were dating, and I began showing up at the warden's house on Highway 146. Eventually, Mary Lee and I married, and John was one of the attendants at our wedding. Although John was only 5 years younger than me, he really seemed like a kid to me.
John Black and I go back to Oldham County High School. He was, you can't tell it by looking at us, but he was a lot younger than I. And so we became friends there. I knew his brother growing up too, Trig, because Trig was involved in a lot of the community teen things going on. He had actually a teen club, so we go back a long way. And I also worked with John on the physical court in Oldham County. I was a member of the physical court when John was judge.
My relationship with John started back in the early 80s, probably about 1981, when myself and 3 partners started a real estate firm here in LaGrange, Kentucky, and he was our first real estate agent that we hired to come work for us. He was an electrician, had his own electrical contracting business, and wanted to get into real estate because back in the 80s, houses were selling, quite a few of them were selling in Oldham County.
I've known John ever since my first husband, Hugh Brown, and I moved to LaGrange. And my first husband was one of John's teachers. And then I've known John because John and I both have been in politics, so that's how I've known John. I remember when John was on city council, and then I remember when John became mayor of LaGrange and I was on city council. And then I remember when John was elected as the Oldham County Judge Executive, and from there John appointed me to fill the term left by Martha Davis as the Oldham County Clerk.
I've known John for a number of years before he became county judge, And we've always had good working relations, and always really enjoyed working with John. He always had good ideas and so forth. I was on fiscal court at the same time that he was county judge, and we worked very close on fiscal court on the projects that he had in mind to do.
I first met John at my future wife's house. They were next door neighbors with John's family, and both of them had 4 kids. And so when I was over there one night having vegetable soup, which my mother-in-law was a specialist at, in comes John, just rolled right through the door, no knock, no nothing. And I thought, who is this guy? And so he was part of the family, so to speak, and their kids were part of the Blacks family, and they lived together there and next door to each other for a number of years. And so that's how I first met him. One story I will share that related to the family was the Hardens had two boys, and they used to go out together to the lake or river or whatever. And on one of these trips, John showed up in the morning, and he was there, according to him, to help them pack. And so as the morning wore on, Pam's dad thought, I think he wants to go, but I'll just let him go a little longer. So John was talking about how wonderful it would be for them to go on the trip, and etc. And so a little bit later in the morning, her dad said, John, why don't you go ask your parents if you can go with us? You might enjoy it, and get your swim trunks on so that, or get your swim trunks so you can get in the water. And John said, well, I've already on my pants. I'm already ready to go. So,
John is my brother-in-law, and we have a wonderful relationship. He's just wonderful. He's so funny, he's entertaining, and then everywhere we go out, somebody comes up to him and says, hi, John. He's one of the most friendliest persons I've ever met. I think that one of the most valuable lessons I've ever learned from John was to be nice to people and to enjoy people. I think that's been his mission in life.
Well, I've known John Black since he was a crumb snatcher, very young kid. I had a grocery store there at Buckner, and his mother always come, my grandfather, and I remember when he wasn't over maybe 8, 9 years old. So I've got a few years in on him.
It's pretty difficult to condense into a short video what John Black has accomplished as both mayor and county judge. John has either started or played a part in almost every major local public improvement project in Oldham County for the past 40 years. Of course, no one does anything alone. John had a great deal of help along the way from the city council members, fiscal court magistrates, city and county employees, and other community leaders. But as we all know, nothing happens until someone has an idea. And John, he had lots of ideas.
John was a natural leader. He wanted to get into politics when we were both young, and I remember one night sitting in TGI Fridays, and he told me that he would like to run for city council. And so we both talked about a plan to help him get elected to do that. And it didn't take a whole lot to do it, because John went door to door and knocked on everybody's door in LaGrange. And to my knowledge, probably at that time, I know he probably got more votes than anybody else that ran as a first-time council member. And later, and his goal was to become a council member in hopes to later become mayor and to go on to become county judge.
John was always focused on what's best for the county and the community. We always talk about politics, but I think the big issue with John is he wasn't a politician, he was a public servant. He liked to look at change, but make sure that change was right for Oldham County. And I think it was a big part of his involvement in county government and also as a mayor of LaGrange. A lot of the things in LaGrange that are there now are there because of John's vision of what it should be.
I guess one of the favorite things about working with John would be John always wanted to make sure that LaGrange and Oldham County was the best that it could be. He's excellent and still is, but he was so excellent in making sure that everything was tidy and pretty and looked nice.
He had a vision of what the county really needed, and I think I learned from him the needs of people, and he had that desire to try to meet the needs of people with infrastructure and buildings that were needed, and did a great job, and I learned a lot from him on that.
My working relationship with John goes back to the mid-'80s when he asked me to serve on the initial City of LaGrange Park Board. And at the time we were dealing with relocating North Oldham Little League to what is now Walsh Park. And John had helped put that deal together as the mayor of the City of LaGrange and was looking for people and came to me and said, I would really appreciate it if you'd serve on this park board. And I think the results speak for themselves as far as the development of the parks over time, but initially when he was mayor of the City of LaGrange, he had a major impact on that project being done well, and the partnerships that resulted from North Oldham Little League and the city, and in some cases the school district, because we had some people involved with it too.
You know, I don't have all my memories of John are his smile, his handshake, how inviting he was to people to be a part of government, and I don't think John ever met a stranger. If he did, they weren't a stranger very long.
John has always had a deep love for his community and his desire to make it the best place it could be. It was during his first term that, as mayor, that he realized that LaGrange was in need of a facelift. Working closely with his public works director, Kirby Miller, John led the transformation of LaGrange by spending $200,000 to rebuild most of the city's sidewalks. Landscaping was upgraded, and John put a strong sense of emphasis on raising community pride with street dances and other events. A really important effort John was deeply involved in was bringing a hospital to LaGrange. LaGrange had always had a hospital, but Mallory Taylor Hospital was forced to close in 1979, leaving a significant void in health care here. John was instrumental in getting a hospital to LaGrange, first Tri-County Community Hospital in 1987, and then later, when the owner of that hospital decided to leave LaGrange, it appeared the county again would be without a hospital, and John did all he could to keep a hospital here. When Baptist Healthcare expressed interest, John worked with the City Council and Baptist officials to float a $36 million industrial revenue bond to finance the company's takeover of our facility here. This was a big decision because this transaction affected the tax status of LaGrange. The Tri-County Hospital was taxable, Baptist Hospital was a nonprofit hospital, and that meant the city was going to have to give up a big chunk of its tax revenue. But John was determined to have a hospital in LaGrange, and fortunately, because of his efforts, combined with those of others, we still have a hospital here today. John had a special friendship with Raymond Wilburn, who was the mayor of LaGrange from 1969 to 1978. Their friendship was based on a common sense of humor. They liked trading insults with each other and playing tricks on each other. Raymond and his wife were very generous individuals, and John never missed a chance to try to talk Raymond into giving away some of his money. John also harangued Raymond into buying a clock for Main Street. Raymond eventually anteed up, and the clock that we all recognize now at Main and First has been out there for 28 years. While the clock has stood as a reminder of their friendship and Raymond's love for LaGrange, Raymond was well known for saying that he paid too much money for the clock. Raymond said he could have purchased a watch for everyone in LaGrange for what he paid for that clock. He
was responsible for the initial inquiry on the Oldham County youth soccer fields where they currently exist. And the county received the land from the state, but they didn't have a way in without going off of Cedar Point Road. And so John and Albert Harrison actually came and talked about, is there a possibility they could enter in the entrance off of Oldham County Middle School? And that's how that parking lot on the Oldham County Middle School lot and the entrance gate that goes into the Oldham County Soccer Complex exist. That property is still owned by the county, but the deal was that they would do the lot and then the school district could use it for parking for school events, overflow parking, etc. at Oldham County Middle School.
John Black has always been active in economic development. He's made dozens of personal pitches and many phone calls to talk with business owners about LaGrange and Oldham County. One of the calls he made was to Cracker Barrel headquarters in Tennessee. He was able to convince a couple of key people at Cracker Barrel that we had something worthwhile visiting here in LaGrange. That visit ended with the company building a new store here, and of course we've all eaten at Cracker Barrel many times. Of course, we all know that the John Black Community Center and the pool next door are great facilities. Those of us who have been here for a while remember when we didn't have a community center or a respectable pool. Another key achievement was finding the money and getting the work completed to build Commerce Parkway. Commerce Parkway was the county's first real attempt to expand our business base. Dynegy Power Plant was built on Commerce Parkway about 15 years ago or so. While controversial when it began, John and the fiscal court negotiated a 20-year financial contribution to the county of $500,000 each year. Because the plant was not going to pay property tax, Blake Hazelton requested money for the schools, and John convinced the fiscal court to give $200,000 each year of the Dynegy money to the Board of Education. This has been a 20-year commitment, which still has several years to go.
And I think that's an indicative relationship of trying to have a win-win in a lot of the relationships that we had. I think oftentimes you get into scenarios where you have multiple county agencies, governments, whatever, or entities like the school board and the city and the county and the state, where people feel the need to look after their own interest rather than serve the communities that they have by using the resources in combination so that they can actually get together and say, how can we benefit each other? And John was very good at that and worked on it in a number of different ways. Beyond the soccer field, the Oldham County Arts Center that was part of the Dynegy deal in Crestwood and acquiring that facility, the school district running it, but the county paying the debt service on it over long term through the Dynegy scenario. Capacity planning, where we were looking at being overrun by growth and development without the infrastructure to support it, which is still a challenge, but John was instrumental, along with several others who will remain nameless because I don't want to leave anybody out, but certainly if it had not been for him, capacity planning would not have happened. That started out as a pilot and it's still in place today. So I think, again, it's quality of life issues that I think are keys to John's leadership and service to the community that we don't often see or don't see often enough. Maybe that's where we are.
John wanted to make it easier for people to take care of courthouse business and not have to always come to LaGrange. So he purchased a former bank branch building on US 42 and turned it into the North Oldham Government Center. He also purchased the former South Oldham Fire Department building in Crestwood and made that the South Oldham Government Center. Many people have actually forgotten that an addition was put on the east side of the county courthouse building and that the fiscal court building was doubled in size with a big addition, which started during John's second term. John and the fiscal court also agreed to buy and save the old Methodist church building. New construction during John's 2 terms as county judge included the police department, the extension building, animal control and recycling center, the senior citizens building, and the annex to the old road department. John's activity in Oldham County did not go unnoticed. In 2001, he was recognized by his peers in the Kentucky County Judge Association as the outstanding county judge in Kentucky, and that was a significant honor. Over the past 7.5 years, John has been my deputy judge. He took a difficult position and did it extremely well. When our road department needed a new leader, I asked him to take the job, and he did it extremely well. The same when the maintenance department needed a new leader. John took that responsibility and again did it very well. In more circumstances than I can describe tonight, John has come through with excellent advice and assistance. Few people in the community realize how insightful John Black has been or how much he has done for the community.
John, I don't think anybody's more deserving of this honor than you, because you've been so involved with Oldham County and where we are today. And I just want to know that importance in your life are your family and community, and it sure shows that you've been very successful in that endeavor. And I wish you the best, John. Congratulations.
John, congratulations. You deserve this. I'm so happy that you are being picked as the Oldham Countian of the Year, and I think it's a fabulous choice.
Congratulations to John on this award that you're going to be receiving, and enjoyed working with you. You did a great job, and good luck in your future, and I hope you'll stick around and continue to work to help the county better.
And John, I want to tell you that I'm very proud of you, and I want you to know that the governor, and you know what I mean by the governor and I wish you all the best and congratulations.
John, congratulations on your recognition as Oldham Countian of the Year this year. It is a most deserved honor, and one that I believe long overdue. And so I hope you and your family and supporters savor it. It's very well deserved.
Hi, John. Congratulations on your retirement, and I just hope you enjoyed it as much as I am enjoying mine. I wish you the best and have the greatest life ever.
John, I'm really glad this honor is coming your way tonight. As far as many of us are concerned, you could have been Person of the Year many times over. You've been both a great leader and a humble spirit in our community and a friend to many. I'm proud to have been your brother-in-law for the past 42 years. And whatever the future holds for you, I wish you the very best. You deserve nothing less.
Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then.
Who cares about the clouds if we're together?
Just sing a song and bring the sunny weather. Happy trails to you till we meet again.
I'd like for my family to come up, please. Come on, I want everybody to see my beautiful granddaughters, Jimmy Sparks' little boy Andrew, and Joshua. Come on up, everyone. So I want them to see you all. And I am just overwhelmed by the fact that I've been recognized this tonight. See, I got a lot of good people in my family. They're all good. My sisters, my brothers. Where's little Harold at? Little Harold, where's little Harold? Come on up here, Harold. Come on. This is my little brother from Lexington. I like to talk a little bit. He's actually has coffee every morning with Calipari. I mean, he likes to get with the right people, and they have coffee up there, and he tells him how to run the show. So this is my little brother Harold. His wife has MS. He takes care of her every day. She grew up in this county. Jody Smith over in Brownsboro, the Smith family, and she got hit with that issue 10 years ago, and Harold's been there for her every day. So anyway, you know what? I've got a speech made here tonight, and I still want to give it some time, David Bazangas. They called me 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I've been working on this for a couple of weeks, and somebody from the chamber staff, I know they got some transition going on up there, but they said, we needed you to do something tonight on the Oldham County of the Year. And I said, well, they said, we'd like for you to do a roast of this person. I said, a roast? I said, I thought it was always just an introduction. No, it's a roast. So I wrote my message on a roast for Jay Hall. Now, you all want to hear that message? But this message will probably make Jay or Debbie or somebody go out the door soon. It's written in a roast, but no, David Bazangas called me yesterday. He said, John, I heard you're doing a roast. It's supposed to be an introduction. So I said, well, buddy, I've been working on this for 2 weeks. I've been getting my information. I've got to put together. Now I'm going to change course to an introduction. I'll try to put some in there, but it's caught me on a short time, David. Why didn't Sandy tell me it's to be an introduction versus a roast? But I've got a 7-page roast here from Jay Hall. When you said real estate magnate, Blake, I was sitting next to Jay. I said, he's going to know who it's him. And that's sort of how I based my speech tonight. But anyway, I've got so much to say. This speech, I've got to give it some time. But I will say this, when Judge Vogel was talking about the hospital coming to Grange, I think I want to mention 2 folks based on what happened then and there. I believe Steve Schultz was very much involved with that. I remember Steve being there. I did what I could to help out on the bonding and everything. Fran Scott was more than likely there helping. I can't recall, but it seemed like something Fran would have done. Blake, probably part of that. It was done by many of us to try to get a hospital in LaGrange. I want to say who these folks are. This is Emily Chalfont, and this is her sister Holly. This is my wife Karen. Josh's wife Tricia, she teaches at the Locust Grove. Stephanie teaches at South Oldham High School. Joshua is a worldwide battery salesman. Joshua. Dr. Vogel is my godchild. She's a doctor at Children's Hospital. Her sister behind her is Julie Vogel. She's a teacher at Taylorsville Elementary. This is Jimmy Sparks with his good little boy Andrew. They live in Birmingham. He works for a bank down there. This is Dr. Jim Sparks, his wife, my sister Barbara, and my other sister, Mary Lee Vogel, Judge Vogel's wife. So these are all my important people. So I certainly thank everyone who spoke tonight. I can't help but talk about Bill Tucker, a magistrate. Bill was my construction manager on a magistrate's salary. He built all these buildings for me in the fiscal court. No extra money, he just did it because he had a construction background. So Bill's not here tonight. I know Hazel was sick somewhat too, so Bill couldn't get here, but I want to say Bill, Norman Brown, you can't beat Norman Brown. He's the best there is. Blake, my brother-in-law Jim Sparks, Judge Vogel, but I just wish my mother and dad might know I got this. They do. So they always taught me to never tell a lie. Because my dad always told me, you tell one, you got to tell 2 to get out of it, the first one. So that's just me. I tell it like it is, straight up, and it's probably what got me beat in 2003. But I say it like it is, and some 700 people differential didn't like what I said, so I got beat by 700 votes countywide. Would any of y'all like to say anything? I would. Okay. we might be here a while before we start talking.
I got to shut him up.
Okay.
No, I'm not a talker, but I never talked on one of these. But I just wanted to thank, that's too loud, isn't it? The Chamber of Commerce for doing this for John tonight. We're so proud of him and so happy, and we've been there all the years. It has been about 40 years. And I was asked to speak a little bit, and of course they said because I'm the oldest of all these people. And I've been married to David for 43 years, and I've known John for 65 years because he turned 65 in May. So that's not telling how old I am, but I'm a little bit older than that. But anyway, I think it comes through that John, we're called to be salt of the earth by Jesus. And I think my young brother, I think he's salt of the earth. Salt is a preservative. Salt brings flavor, taste, and salt brings about new life. And I think John and his work for this community, devotion to this community all of his life, because we were all born and raised here, at least my brothers and sisters were. And I feel like now my train of thought is left.
Here, read this. It's got a lot of good information
No, but we're back to salt. We're back to salt. He loves preserving things. He's worked his entire life with antiques, and you can't get into any of the rooms almost that he owns for all these things, these stacks of things that he has saved. And he's going to make something out of or refurbish them, whatever. And he's preserved what's good in our community. He's brought flavor, as you can see, in his personality and his personal traits. And he certainly has brought about new life by bringing back. I just think we all do, not just me. The family feels that this is a wonderful pick. Mr. Bazantis, thank you to your organization, and thank you to John for what you've done for all of us.
I think three folks that are representing 23 from county government. We have Joe Kelly right here. I couldn't figure why he was here tonight. He's never been to a chamber meeting. I said, Joe, since you're here, you may be Oldham County here. You never know. Rodney Gabbard's with us tonight. He runs the maintenance department. They are my two buddies. Joe used to be at the road department, and he helped him. He helped me. Actually, I was boss, but he helped me. Then Jim Urban's here. Jim and I have done a lot of this together over the years. We took a little sabbatical after some losses, and Jim stayed away and came back. But Jim has been instrumental in a lot of these roads, these highways, and stuff like that. I think that's all the county employees I have. Of course, we've got managers here tonight, but thank everyone so much. And if you need a good guy to speak for you, I'm available. So, thank you, Dave.
I can't let this get away.
I will say, first of all, we have a lot of people to thank for the help in doing this. I've been here since 2009, and of all of the Oldham Countian dinners we've tried to plan, he is definitely the most difficult person to get this pull this over on. And it was great because I felt bad when I was talking to him because I'm trying to trick him into coming in, and I knew he was preparing real hard, and I was like, oh my gosh, I feel bad that he's doing it. And then a couple days go by and he called me 5 or 6 more times. I was like, man, you know what? I'm gonna stop calling him or stop answering his phone call. Just stop totally, because he could not wait to roast. And that's what I wanted to thank. It was funny because Devin J. Hall agreed to be here to make sure that we could kind of trick him into being here, and they had no idea what they were getting into. because he called it every single day. And special thanks to Judge Vogel and Mary Lee and everybody who contributed. So, and Jay did a great job. But before we leave, this is a part of the event where we like to ask if anybody would like to stand up and share a story or congratulate John. I didn't know if maybe Jay Hall had anything to say.
Well, I just want to say, John, you deserve everything of this award. I'm very happy for you. And the one thing I really want to say about John is the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I had the pleasure of knowing both of John's parents. And John's values he gets from his parents. I got to tell you, Ruth and Harold Black, they were the salt of the earth. And I know why John is the Oldham County of the Year is because of Ruth and Harold Black.
Thank you.
I also want to say one thing about little Harold over here. I grew up in Crestwood. My dad had an insurance office in LaGrange, and I didn't know LaGrange people as well as I knew Crestwood people. But when I got to the 8th grade, I was in the class with Joel McWilliams, was my teacher. Let me tell you, he was a tough son of a gun. And public speaking does not come natural to me, believe it or not. But I'll tell you who it came very natural to was Harold Black. He could get to a podium and he could talk about anything. He's better than you, John. And I was so envious of little Harold in Joe McWilliams' class. But, you know, Joe, God love him, he's not here tonight. But if I could speak at all, it's because of Joe McWilliams. But once again, congratulations, John. You deserve every bit of it.
All right. Anyone else? Well, we have a toast planned, so if you would grab your champagne. John, I've only been able to work with you for a handful of years, and I'm just in awe about all that you've done for Oldham County, and I hope to continue to see you on a regular basis. Happy trails, and thanks for all you've done in Oldham County, and thanks all of you. That concludes our evening, so please be careful going home, and feel free to stick around and talk to John.